Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Avatar, The Last Airbender and Friends are two of my favorite TV shows, and today I want to show you the similarities that I found in their characters. Now, let's start. Aang and Joey. Strong and powerful, but still a kid. To me, this is the strongest similarity between both characters. They both are strong in their own way, Aang as a warrior and Joey as a Casanova, but they're just kids inside at the same time. Goofy and carefree. I think this is self-explanatory, just look at the gifs. Serious at the right time, despite their childish and goofiness, Aang and Joey are pretty serious during a moment of crisis. Just look at the pilot episode of ATLA, when Aang sacrificed himself to save the Southern Water Tribe from Zuko's attack.
If I go with you, will you promise to leave everyone alone?
No, Aang, don't do this!
Don't worry, Katara. It'll be okay.
And all the effort he put into training when the big final was yet to come, which led him to not being able to sleep.
Ozai's defense is impeccable. I'll have to try a different approach.
And Joey is not lagging behind. For example, he worked so hard on the letter recommendation for Monica and Chandler's adoption, that he overused the thesaurus on it.
What you working on?
Oh, Monica and Chandler's recommendation. I want it to sound smart, but I don't know any big words or anything, so...
Well, why don't you use your thesaurus?
What'd I just say?
Watch. Here, you highlight the word you want to change, go under Tools, and the thesaurus gives a whole list of choices. You can pick the word that sounds smartest.
Oh, my God, that's great. I'm smart. No, I'm brainy, bright, clever. I love this thing.
Or when he dragged his sister's boyfriend to marry her because she was pregnant.
Oh my God! Bobby!
Hi, Dina. Good to see you.
Joey, what are you doing?
Just what needs to be done. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to join
Joey, this is crazy.
Don't interrupt me when I'm talking to God!
I know these are different situations between the characters, but the point is that they drop the childish personality that characterized them to be serious adults on some subject. Energy bending. Okay, this may not be their strongest similarity, but look at the scenes and tell me they don't have those power, I dare you.
Hey, a dog! Oh, hi! Who you gotta admit looks a lot like Jane.
This is the happiest dog in the world. I borrowed him from my friend Wendy. So you can keep him till he cheers you up, and he will cheer you up.
Thanks so much, Phoebes. We are gonna have so much fun.
2 very boring minutes later.
So, between her and me being friends and her history with Ross, just isn't gonna happen. Be like you falling in love with a cat.
Zuko and Chandler. Alright, I know what you're thinking, but hear me out. Search for destiny. It's no secret that Zuko was constantly searching for his destiny, and neither was Chandler. We saw how Zuko he went from dropping his father's order to capture the Avatar to finding his own destiny and joining the Avatar's team. And Chandler finally got the fear and dropped his transponder job to pursue his career in advertising. Love misfortune. Well, it's also no secret that these two weren't very lucky in love at first, but they did succeed in the end.
What's wrong?
I'm hopeless and awkward and desperate for love! I have to go.
Daddy issues. Although for different reasons, these boys have a complicated relationship with their fathers. Zuko goes from admiring to fighting his father. And Chandler, well, Let's just say he fervently wants to be the opposite of his father. Azula and Rachel. Again, hear me out. Heather perfection. I think this is not a surprise for anyone. Azula and Rachel are those kinds of people who may have difficult times, but in the end, they are just lucky by nature.
Not that you would understand. You're like my sister. Everything always came easy to her. She's a firebending prodigy, and everyone adores her. My father says she was born lucky. He says I was lucky to be born.
On Azula's part, a good example is her blue fire, which clearly happens thanks to this perfection trait of her. For more information about this, investigate the blue fire process. And, on Rachel's part, a good example of this is when the girls are in the dancing class and Rachel just clicked. Empowerment. I know Katara also fits here, but this is not about her. Azula and Rachel are the personifications of girl empowerment throughout the series. They both work hard for their dreams, Azula, the one to win the respect of her father, and Rachel, the fashion one.
How do you expect me to grow if you won't let me blow?
Too bad Azula ended up losing her sanity, which leads me to the next point. Mental breakdown. This point was different for both of them, but they still had it. After losing Mai, Ty Lee, and her father, Azula lost her sanity at the end of the series, when she was finally about to be the Fire Lord. And Rachel had a crisis at the beginning of the series when she left her boyfriend and her family, the life that she had planned. As you can see, these are opposite causes and consequences, but they both lost their identity at one point. Demanding fathers. Well, this doesn't need explanation either. A little spoiled, at the beginning. Whether we like it or not, Rachel was spoiled at the beginning of her path. Fortunately, she'd grown up and became a better person. On the other hand, Azula remained like this. Toph and Phoebe. Tough and direct. Toph and Phoebe are not known for biting their tongues, they know what they want, they go for it, and they are not afraid to say what they think or to use their strength.
All your uncle wanted was for you to find your own path and see the light. Now you're here with us. He'd be proud.
Ow! What was that for?
That's how I show affection.
Family issues. Both have had to suffer tragedies in their family, although in different ways. Toph abandoned her family to follow her goals, and Phoebe was the one abandoned by them. At least, they found the family they deserved.
When I was growing up, I didn't have a normal mom and dad, or a regular family like everybody else. And I always knew that something was missing. But now I'm standing here today, knowing that I have everything I'm ever gonna need. You are my family.
Not conventional. Well, this is very easy to explain. Toph is usually categorized as the tomboy, and Phoebe is the weird hippie girl. Different learning sources. These two did not have a learning beginning as the rest of the group, they had to resort to different sources of learning. Toph learned the earthbending control from the first earthbenders, the blind badger moles. And Phoebe learned from the streets. Katara and Monica. Resisting mother stereotypes, but mother-like. Let's face it, Katara and Monica are the moms or their groups, and they represent sense despite their attempts to appear more carefree. But we just love them the way they are. Mom issues. They also have mom issues because they grew up lacking their love. Katara's mom died, and Monica's mom is very demanding and prefers Ross.
Do you know what it's like to grow up with someone who is critical of every single thing you say?
I can imagine.
OCD. This is another point that two characters have in a different way. Katara is obsessed with saving all the people they meet on the way to train Aang.
I'm sorry, but we're powerless.
We'll see about that.
And Monica is obsessed with cleaning and order.
Someone's left a glass on the coffee table. There's no coaster. It's a cold drink. It's a hot day. Little beads of condensation are inching their way closer and closer to the surface of the wood.
Stop it!
Oh my God. It's true.
Who am I?
Monica, your mom.
And last but not least, Sokka and Ross. Strong-headed. Well, these two are very stubborn and like to do things in their own way. Fortunately, they matured as the show went on, although one may have more than the other.
I mean, he was possessive, he was jealous, he could never just let the little things go.
The desired ones. They may not be the Casanovas from their groups, but they definitely were surrounded by different girls throughout the show. Comic relief. They were really funny too. Something bad was always going on with them, but it was pretty hilarious.
Drink cactus juice. It'll quench you. Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest.
And honestly, Ross carried last season's.
Ross, this is not how we wanted you to find out about this. You have every right to go nuts.
I'm not going nuts. Do you see me going nuts?
No, but you know what I mean.
Hey. If you two are happy, then I'm happy for you. I'm fine.
What other similarities did you find? What other examples would you have used? What differences did you find? Who would you have compared these characters to? Be free to comment down below. I'm looking forward to reading you. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.